Listen to your heart. Hi guys, it's Ahsante, and I'm feeling inspired. I recently came back from California where I was hanging out in LA and then Anaheim for VidCon. It's really incredible what hanging around other motivated, creative, aspirational people can do for your spirit. And that was the case not only for VidCon, but for the larger part of my trip as well. I have friends out there in the film industry who are hustling and pursuing their dreams, and getting to hang and talk with them made me want to hustle and keep pursuing mine. Pursuing your dreams can be tough, especially if your dreams are creative like mine and don't necessarily follow a traditional career path. It can seem like you're being too fanciful or too optimistic to want to do something you love for a living, especially when there's this pressure to do something safe and stable and lucrative. But the fact is, we're not all cut out to be doctors or lawyers or engineers, and even if you are, those careers can take up to a decade of work just to really get started. So either way, you have to be committed. You have to resist doubts or the temptation to do something easier, and for me, this trip affirmed that I'm committed in the right direction. It was a business trip, it was a visiting friends trip, it was a networking, repping my day job, meeting with brands, presenting on panels trip, meeting people who were online acquaintances who I'm meeting in person for the first time trip. It was work, for sure. But it was also really fun. I went to an advanced screening of Queen Sugar, and afterwards there was a Q&A with Ava DuVernay and a couple of the other directors on other episodes. And all the directors were just talking about how great it was working on the show and just working with each other and loving on each other, and also talking about the craft and kind of how they made the decisions they did. It was just really inspiring. I stayed with friends, I brunched, and then there was VidCon, the main event. I realized at the end that I didn't pass out nearly as many business cards this year. This year, I was mostly hanging with friends. This was the first VidCon where I felt like I really knew a lot of people and I knew what I was doing. 2 years ago was my first VidCon, so I didn't know what to expect. Everything was new. And then last year was my first time being featured, so that was completely new and a little intimidating. But this year was my second time being featured, so I knew the drill, I felt comfortable, and people recognized me from last year. And I also had the credibility of being there with my day job, so I definitely felt like I was there on purpose. I really felt a part and like I belonged and like I was fully and deeply involved in the creator community. And that's such a great feeling. I think most everyone who knew me saw me at one of my events since they were so varied and numerous. I had 5 different events and they covered a range of interests from identity panels to career panels to a PBS specific event. So between that and running into folks, I feel like I got to see pretty much everyone who I had in mind to see, which is usually a challenge. And this was my first time moderating a panel, which went really well. It was a less than famous panel, which was the first panel that I was on at my first VidCon, so full circle moment there. For me, VidCon is a little boost. I get to talk about my work with other creatives IRL who get it, and getting a little attention from brands and press is also nice. And it also shows me a bit of the impact I'm making. I get to meet people who I've been talking with online, I get to see people who have been inspired by my work, and that's what makes this all worth it. My main mission in life is to make media that gets people to think about themselves or about the world a little differently. Media that educates and entertains and inspires. And there are lots of ways of doing that, including what I'm doing right now. And I want to have a long and varied career, which is why what I want to do with my life seems like such an open-ended question. But being at VidCon with PBS, with awesome coworkers and producing partners, with YouTuber pals, both old school and new school, with YouTube Black folks and online women, with professionals and less than famous friends, felt like exactly the right place for me to be. Huge thanks to the VidCon team as always. I know this must be a beast to put on every year, so I hope you're getting some well-earned rest. In the comments, let me know if you're pursuing your dreams. Do you have specific career goals, or a type of job that you want to do, or just a general area of interest? You can like this video if you liked it, subscribe and get notifications to see more, and if you want to help me make more and do more with this channel, then please consider supporting me on Patreon. Totally up to you, but I would greatly appreciate it. My first 20 patrons will have their names in the video description for the rest of the year, and today I want to shout out my patron CheersKevin, who actually has his own YouTube channel with delightful videos that I enjoy quite a lot. Well, I'm gonna go pack up my life and move yet again. In the meantime, remember to live spiritedly and think creatively. What's making me happy this week is Garrett Robinson's video on his VidCon. In it, he shares one anecdotal story which really resonated with me because it was about finding your people, finding your tribe, and he was at this panel, which is the one, I didn't get to attend a lot of panels this year. This is the one panel that I actually did attend, so I was also in that room and noticed who else was in that room and who else was in the audience. I felt like I was among friends and colleagues and peers and people who want to make the world a better place. So it was an awesome panel, and definitely go check out that video because I resonated with a lot of what he had to say. What's also making me happy is that I passed my first Patreon goal. I mentioned it in my email newsletter, so if you want to sign up for that, I will leave a link below. I'll also link to my June newsletter, which I just sent out, if you want to check out that. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.